and Magda Stepska. They are both part of Imago Foundation's team. And my name is Piotr Kuzniak, and I'm the CEO of Imago Foundation and the co-founder, and for the time being, the International Shortbreak Association president. And Magda is actually both Magdas are also responsible for organizing the next year's conference. So this is also the conference team here with me in this room. Okay.
Great. Well,
Yeah.
so these networking hours are usually pretty informal, but today we are really excited to have Peter and his team here to help host and share a little bit more about the upcoming international conference. So I am recording this, if that's okay, Peter, just so those, since we don't have as many folks here as we normally do, that way we can share this out for people who may have missed it. I do also want to just make a note that, I don't know, Yasmin, are you coming to Madison? Are you on your way? No, you're not. Okay. Well, in case people watch this between now and then, we are going to be having an in-person break exchange networking hour at the conference this Wednesday. So I'm very excited for that. For those who are attending the National Lifespan Respite Conference in Madison on Wednesday evening, we're going to have an in-person networking hour. So very excited to have our first in-person one. And sorry you can't join us, Peter, but we'll have to have one at the international conference in Poland next year. So I'm going to turn the floor over to you guys to kind of share what you guys want to share with us. And again, if there's questions or comments, this is informal, so feel free to jump in, and we may have other folks jump in as well. They sometimes come a little late to these. So if we do, we'll pause and reintroduce people as we go. But I'm going to turn it over to you, Peter.
Okay, Kim, before you do that, I have a question for you. You've sent me an email today asking about this pre-registration for the next ISBA conference in Poland. So when would you like me to let you know?
Yeah, you can let me know as soon as possible. That's something we did at the last international conference. So we do have one person that has a free registration from the last international conference that we drew. I'd forward you that information. So we're just wondering if that's possible to do again. If not, no big deal, but we're going to announce, if we do that, we'll announce it on Thursday at the last day of the conference. So no later than Thursday morning.
Okay. Understood.
Thanks. Okay, it's
So,
all yours.
Okay, so as I mentioned, we have prepared two presentations for you today. One is about the next ISBA conference, and since you are all familiar with what ISBA is and what the conferences are about, I won't get into all the details of the presentation and all the slides. However, I will show you part of it. So, okay, the next ISBA conference is going to take place here in Poland, in the city of Wrocław. And our conference theme is building better breaks together. And this is the very visualization of the conference. And okay, this is something that you already know. However, can you see those three little guys on the slide? The dwarfs? And we also see that they represent different disabilities.
Peter, can you just go to the next slide? I'm still seeing the first slide.
What about now? No. You only see the first slide.
Only first slide.
Now you see, now do you see the dwarfs?
I think you need to switch your screen view. So if you go to like the view options, I think if you have a double screen, we might be seeing your other screen. You need to swap the display.
Okay, wait a second. What about now?
Yeah, now I can see it. It's still on the, like, it's not on presenter mode. It's just like your PowerPoint's open and now you're on the second slide.
Okay, are the slides changing?
It's showing us slide 2 with your the statues.
Statues of the dwarfs.
Yep, I remember those guys all over the place.
Yeah. Okay. So are the slides moving now or not?
No, I think Peter, if you just click on the slides in your presentation, we're seeing that version of it. So like right now you have slide 2 highlighted. So if you click on slide 3, now we're seeing slide 3.
Perfect.
There you go.
Okay.
Now we got
Okay,
it.
so as you probably can see, these 3 little guys are, well, the dwarfs. There's a lot of sculptures of dwarfs in our city, and they are related to the modern city's history. I won't tell much more about it. However, at some point, our decision makers decided to fund sculpting the 3 little dwarfs that represent disabilities, because it's an important issue for the people from our city. And these 3 little guys have different disabilities. One of them is blind, the other is deaf, and the third is using a wheelchair. So it seems that Wrocław is the right place to be in terms of hosting the conference, especially that it's called the meeting place. Anyways, you can find much more of these guys all around the city doing all, strange and crazy stuff. So be careful of the dwarfs when you are exploring Wrocław. And I'm just gonna say a few words about the program, which is probably the most important part. It's going to be a traditional ISBA conference, 3 days long. Our plan is to have 32 workshop sessions, discussion panels, plenary sessions, and networking activities, and of course the social program. And I expect that the conference will deliver something very important for everybody, and for me in particular. Thanks to attending ISBA conferences, I have formed a lot of partnerships with organizations from other countries, and this has led me to a lot of learning exchange projects that were really beneficial for me and my team. And we are going to tell you a little bit more about adventure therapy, and it's also kind of an outcome of of us being there for the conference in Iceland 2019. When a lot of great ideas came to our heads, and now we are implementing them. If we are talking about the workshops, we want to have at least 5 types of workshops, 5 or yeah. One probably will be about IT and software in social services. Second round of workshops are going to be about social tourism activity and adventure-based support. The third is community-based support programs. The fourth, center-based and daycare services. And the fifth, respite innovations. And we would specifically like to focus during plenary sessions on current trends in social policies, civilization, and demographic challenges in the context of health and social support. So we would like to look more into the future, not only the current situation in different countries. And so these are like the key elements of the agenda. And I would like also to share some information about the organizations responsible for the conference, because it feels that this job is a little bit too big only for Imago Foundation team. So we have asked 2 other organizations to help us and co-create the conference with us. And the first one is Bonitum Association. They were established not that long ago in 2014 as an initiative of families of persons with intellectual disabilities specifically. They run an independent living center here in Wrocław, but they also offer a lot of inclusive tourism activities. They cooperate with scout unions and take part in many different sport events. The third co-organizer is Foundation Potrafię Pomóc, which in English means Foundation I Can Help. They were established in 2008, and their focus is on developmental defects and very rare diseases, very rare disabilities. What they offer in their organization are different forms of therapy and assessment. They also have a respite department. They run an accessibility institute and education and rehabilitation center for unique children, and a kindergarten as well. One of their newest initiatives is the School of Childbirth for persons with disabilities. And it seems that in 2021, for instance, they have supported in total over 10,000 people. But what is also very relevant to the story are the small Ukrainian flags you can see here on the slides, which is because since the very first day of the war, they've been supporting the immigrants here in Poland, but they are also very much involved in the support given to people who are still in Ukraine. They send over tons of materials of everyday living. One of the co-organizers, Bonitum Association, they were successful enough lately to fundraise money to renovate 2 ambulances that will be sent in near future to Ukraine. Foundation I Can Help help to transfer over 500 persons with disabilities from Ukraine to Poland. Well, single-handedly, basically.
I have a question for you. So these are on the slides of the organizations. So is this just something that like each respite organization is taking their own initiative to help Ukraine and the people, or is this kind of something that's also wrapped up within the conference itself as like making a note to support them?
That is yet to be determined. Maybe one of the workshops will be also about respite care support for immigrants.
Oh.
But it's still too early to say. However, the decision is going to be made in the next 2 weeks. And if in terms of supporting immigrants, these are their own initiatives. They have decided from the very beginning of the war to offer support to Ukrainians, just as many other people and organizations in Poland did spontaneously. Does that answer your question, Katie?
Yeah, thank you very much.
Okay. Yeah, so I hope that I'm going to see you in person next year in September, actually, because the 12th of September is going to be also the first day of the conference here in Poland. So keep your finger crossed for me and my team.
You got it, Peter. It's a lot of work to host a conference. I know that firsthand. And we're really excited. I know you guys are dealing with so much going on. And I know the International Committee is convening in October to do some planning. And so I know there's still lots to be worked out, but it sounds like still a lot of excitement about hosting the conference. And this is great. So thanks so much for sharing this information. I know you said first, why don't we pause and see if there's other questions or comments about the conference that folks have before you dive into the other piece you wanted to talk about. Any questions or comments from anybody? This is usually not this quiet of a group, Peter, just so you know. We have we have
That's fine.
some wild ones in the crowd who have lots of comments and questions, but I think this is a unique day for us. But if anyone does have questions about the conference, you can see on the slide here, Peter provided his email. You can certainly reach out to me as a member of the International Committee. I can also help, navigate and get some questions answered as well. But we're so excited. We had a ISBA meeting in Poland a couple of years ago, and I was so fortunate. Pedro and I both went and had just such an incredible time in Poland. It's the people and the places we got to visit, and the food was just amazing. So we're very excited for Poland to be the next site for the International Respite Conference. And if you haven't ever attended an International Corporate Association conference, it is super fun, super informative. You meet so many people and build so many connections. And I just would highly recommend it.
Yeah. Well, what is really reassuring is that actually the event we have organized together in November 2019 you are referring to was so successful that people still remember it. And if they know very little about ISBA, they remember very well who you were, where you were coming from, and they are still referring to the stories they heard and the people they met there in November 2019. So it has really made an impact on people.
That's so great. That's so great. Wonderful. Well, thanks for sharing that. And I shot you an email. If you're willing to share those slides, I can steal some of them to share more with the national group that'll be here in town this week as we try to promote the conference as well. So would love a copy of those slides. You can send those to me, Peter.
Yeah, I will. Sure,
Great.
Good idea.
Great.
So going to the next piece, as I mentioned, joining ISBA conferences inspires you to have new ideas, to have ideas for new ways of supporting persons with disabilities and designing new short break programs. And this is actually something that happened to us when we were in Reykjavik in 2018. We have listened to many interesting presentations that had in their center activity-based programs, outdoor programs, different types of them actually. And ever since we were thinking about starting our own line of services, products, or programs that would be about outdoor activities. And this is something that Magda was very focused on for the past few years. And she and her team managed to be successful in terms of fundraising money and starting new projects in the autumn last year. So at this point, we are proud to say that we have, a lot. I think that there is a lot of outdoor groups, outdoor activities that we offer to persons with disabilities here in Wrocław. And Magda will tell you a little bit more about it. So the floor is yours.
Thank you, Piotr. So it's quite easy to remember our names, I think. First of all, sorry for my voice, but I also got a flu. Actually, we are part of the team that are doing outdoor activities and adventure therapy programs in our organization. We are, I think, passionate about outdoor activities. That's something that drives us, and we feel that we just like to share our passions with other people. So we invite people with different activities to our activities. and we have started to do first pilot programs in 2020. So it was COVID time, which was very difficult for everyone. And that was the time that we set up a center we called BAZA, which in second slide we tell you what is it about. So yeah, we created BAZA, an outdoor activities and adventure therapy center, and we promoted with the name Adventure Without Barriers.
Okay, so BAZA basically stands for base camp.
Base camp. Yeah. So if you can go to the second slide, Piotr.
Yes, so in English, BAZA means base camp. So for us, it's a space, a safe space for our participants and for us, space for growth and development, where every person who come to us may, as we call it, reach his or her own Everest from. And we believe that each person has different Everest that wants to reach. And as in high mountain climbing, we don't do anything alone. We do everything together as a team on a partnership basis. And we also believe that nature itself has a therapeutical influence on people that we are taking to this place. And we also train their social skills. We work on teamwork and personal relationships for the participants we are inviting to our programs.
Yeah, and until that point, we were actually mainly focused on individual type of service programs. All our services were delivered individually, and actually the adventure therapy approach has led us eventually to group types of support.
Yeah, actually, can you put the next slide? Actually, it was also something we saw during COVID, that people need to gather together, and we really wanted our clients to get out of homes and get people closer to nature. Because most of us spend a lot of time at homes, at the centers, and what we try to do in our base camp is to bring different outdoor activities to people with disabilities. So make these activities more accessible, because mostly in Poland, these kind of activities are not so commonly done by people with different disabilities. So we also try to promote this outdoor spending time outdoors among people with disabilities, and getting the wellness from nature, and getting all the best from the nature, and from being together in nature, and from doing different things, different activities together in nature. So
well, of course, we have in Poland a lot of support programs, but they are mainly delivered in centers and buildings. Organizing support and all sorts of activities which eventually lead to independent living skills, they take place in a regular venue. And it is not that common, as Magda said, to see persons with disabilities learning in practice basically anything outdoors, in parks, in the forests, in the rivers, in the mountains, basically in the nature. And as Magda mentioned, actually it's not only about therapy, but in the very center of the concept, we have also social tourism and accessibility.
Yeah.
What is exceptional about adventure therapy? I think it's not that these are only like trips or activities that we do outside in the green areas of town or mountains, rivers, as Piotr said, but also it's something that's created for support change and growth for participants. So not only we face real challenges that are there in the nature, so we climb rocks, we hike the top of the mountains, or we do the river rafting, but we also talk about it. We talk about what's hard, what's easy, what we have learned, what was the real challenge that participants were facing, and also everything is adjusted to their needs and their skills. So I think also like the first stage of creating adventure therapy program is detailed interview and getting to know people we are going to work with, and everything happens through experience. So we don't learn anything from books or
Sitting in a class.
Yeah, exactly. Nothing next to the table, but just doing stuff in the nature. And it is involving people kinetically, behaviorally, and cognitively. So we work on different levels of basically cognition.
And the groups are not big, are they?
No, we're gonna talk about it a little
Okay.
bit later, depending on the activity we are doing.
So since 2020, quite many things happened because we have counted almost 30, 27 implemented outdoor programs. Since last year, we did 2 climbing sections. We also introduced young volunteers to our programs who help us to organize the programs and to care for the people. We have trained 42 people in adventure therapy method. About 70 participants took part in our programs. We managed to
produce 2 movies.
Yeah, we produced 2 movies, which you can see on YouTube, and the third one is in production. Maybe it will be published in a few weeks.
You gotta send us the links to those YouTube videos so we can share those. That's so cool.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, we will. I will show you the links to in the last slide. So we have also made 2 publications where we described what we did and how we implemented people with disabilities. Unfortunately, it's only available on our webpage in Polish.
The publications, right?
The publications, yeah. And we also succeeded in receiving 7 grants from different sources like European Social Fund, Norway grants, some local grants. So thanks to that, our programs are free of charge, and and people don't have to pay for that.
That's amazing. So you've been able to fund it all with grants so far?
Yeah.
That's
We are so
amazing.
happy about that.
That's amazing.
Well, actually, my teammates were very successful in terms of fundraising, but it seems that, well, good idea pay off in terms of money as well. Not only the benefit for the people, but it seems that this whole concept is very convincing in terms of encouraging different institutions to grant us money to offer that type of programs to persons with disabilities.
Yes, so in our base camp we have we can divide it into two groups, and one is adventure base camp for people with disabilities, different disabilities, and we invite, and I think this is the important part, that we invite young people to take part in our programs. It's never a must. We basically invite them to get to know us and see what we have to offer. and whatever they are interested in or what they want to explore, they are more than welcome to join the base camp. And everything that we do is based on adventure therapy and wilderness therapy methodology, which I said a little bit about before, that it's not regular activity. It's not a regular activity or trip to the nature. It's it has parts of it's educational parts and therapeutical parts that of course are taken care of by professional staff, psychologists and sociologists and mentors and facilitators. And these programs and activities are run by adventure therapy team, but also we get a lot of help from our volunteering team. And these are people from high schools and universities, basically young people who are willing to involve themselves socially, and they want to support people with different disabilities. And we also try to provide trainings for them regarding adventure therapy training and personal assistance training as well. So they are prepared and ready to help us, and they know how to do it.
Mm-hmm. And what I can add about our group of clients is people with different kind of disabilities. So far, we have worked with mostly with people with visual impairments and intellectual disabilities and developmental disorders and physical disabilities. So different kind of disabilities and different levels of disabilities. And also we mostly work with young people, youths, and young adults. The highest, the upper age is 40, and the lower is, I think, 15 years old. And this year also we started to work with kids from 7. So our first adventure therapy summer camps for kids started this summer. And as for the volunteers, it is really wonderful place for them to make relations, to get new skills, because they learn a lot of also adventure activities, but also they learn social skills. They learn how to care about people with disabilities and how to help in a proper way, and also make a lot of relations between all these groups and friendship. So this is, I think, also wonderful about this.
I think what is also wonderful that that our volunteers, they started like sometimes without any experience working with people with disabilities, and after the trainings and after like getting some experience with us, like getting to our adventures and helping us, they are now actually working as personal assistants. So that's a beautiful like path that they went kind of with us through.
So the idea of the base camp and this outdoor program is not only to deliver services, but also to grow resources, work on resources that we need in order to have more and more programs in the future. And this is why we are kind of focused on trainings.
Yeah, so, well, actually we provide adventure therapies as a form of respite care programs during the time that persons with disabilities spend time with us, parents, partners, or other relatives can have their break from daily routines. And we offer our programs in a form of few-hour programs during a day, or it can be 1 or 2 day trips, expeditions into nature. And this year we also started this summer 5-day camps for kids and youths. So we offer personal assistance from home to get to the meeting point, and then during the expeditions, and then back home. And we also try to involve qualified staff members, but also the volunteers, which are trained before they start their support in the programs.
Yeah, so these are not just simple trips, they are expeditions.
Micro expeditions.
Yeah, because there's a lot of preparatory stuff you have to do and a lot of resources you need to gather in order to organize a trip. So there are like Mount Everest expeditions.
But we explore our regional and local attractions, which you will see in a second.
Yeah, so during the summer, like we just wanted to share with you some adventures that we were facing this year. And regarding climbing, we've done climbing on artificial wall earlier this year. And as a goal, we wanted to take our participants into real nature and do the rock climbing. So we went for 2 days expedition to the mountains, and we wanted to show them how it is to climb in a natural environment, so they can experience this real contact, nature, rock, and.
And you were using tents to sleep.
Yeah, we've been sleeping in the tents during this trip. We also want to prepare our participants to do the wild camping in the future. So we offer them bushcrafting kind of classes, and we teach them how to make a fire without matches, and try to be comfortable in the nature when you have like no resources from the big cities like electricity and other stuff. And we cook together. We basically try to do all the activities as a team, but also we divide our duties like according to what you prefer and what you want to learn as a new thing. And and in the future, I think that's like a small preparation for make those expeditions bigger and longer and more into the wild. And that's what's gonna happen. And regarding hiking, we try to involve all the participants. As you can see in the picture, like this year we went to the highest mountain in Karkonosze, and we took one of our participants, Maya, who's using wheelchair, and we were supporting her in getting into the top with help of us as trainers and other assistants and volunteers, and we succeeded.
Exactly. So we try to take our groups. Actually, we go together because we also prepare together the programs. We meet before each program with the group and discuss what we will do, what people would prefer to do. So we go to the nearby forests with our programs. We go to the rocks and we go to the hills and reach the summits. We spend a lot of time in the forests doing some rope activities where we basically all the activities have some goals. So we can plan to teach the group to work on their communication skills, on their teamwork, or their self-confidence, self-awareness, and other social skills. So we use actually these rope activities, slackline, and different games, and we do it in nature. So Yeah.
Yeah.
And we not only go to the mountains, but we also love water. And I think Magda is the best example of a water lover. And this year we also did, this is for the first time, stand-up paddling, right? And kayaking and rafting and all of those activities took place in different parts of areas that
Different
are
rivers,
different
lakes.
rivers, yeah, different parts of our voivodeship, and yeah, and they were like really, the participants were really loving it, and it just for us good sign that what we are doing it's something that we should just share with others and maybe develop to make it more like few days expeditions instead of 1 day or 2 days.
Yeah, that's definitely the plan. So for the moment, our trips to the nature are organized in a form of 1 or 2 day trips and the summer day camps. We do it during weekends and weekdays. We do it all the year round. So we try to also promote winter activities, which we like very much, and we want people to not to be afraid of winter or autumn, just to be well prepared for different kind of weathers. Yeah, we involve different outdoor activities. We go on a day expeditions or trips or overnight stays in tents or shelters. The programs are based on adventure therapy and wilderness therapy methods, and we organize it in small groups, which are up to 8 participants, which we mean people with disabilities, but this number can double when we add our staff, instructors, volunteers, assistants, which is sometimes necessary to have like one-on-one support for the group. And during the programs, we provide all the necessary things like transportation, insurance, accommodation, food, equipment. We involve qualified staff, so we also work with some outdoor activities instructors, and we have a team of adventure therapy trainers. So these are psychologists and sociotherapists, volunteers, and personal assistants, and the programs are free.
I just wanted to add about this picture that you can see on this slide, that this is the picture from our 2-day trip to the mountains in the winter, and we were building a snow cave with persons with intellectual disabilities and with visual impairments as well.
Mm-hmm.
So we had an instructor who taught us how to do it, and then we were just building this for a few hours, and that was a really nice experience, especially for people who don't see, because when you enter this cave, it's like so quiet and so peaceful and actually warmer than outside, that it was a really amazing experience. That was one of my favorite expeditions that we had.
And during that trip, where did you sleep? In a tourist shelter?
We slept in the shelter, yeah.
On the top
of the mountain.
Okay.
Yeah. Another offer that we have, it's climbing, but it's not regular sections of climbing that you can find in every city basically. But this one is therapeutic, and we've done 2 sections earlier this year, and now we are starting another one that's going to take place once a week. Of course, with elements of social skill trainings, which means that we start and we finish with a kind of like exchanging ideas and our thoughts on climbing and how we feel about it and what's difficult for us, and what we want to learn. So the program is more adjusted to particular participants. And we do it also in small groups of maximum 7 people. Yes, and then we have, of course, instructor who's experienced climber, and then people as assistants who are helping, like, supporting those people to get to the place where we meet, where we do climbing, because sometimes it's just like, it's not very central location. And we also provide all the equipment that's needed for climbing. And maybe one of the important things for us when we climb, it's not that, I mean, the aim and goal is always important, but for us, the most important is the process. So, you know, so maybe not the reaching the top is the most important, but just the way of getting to the top, basically, as in life. Yes. And of course, everything is for free, so the participants don't have to pay anything.
Yes. So our team also is trying to learn from other organizations and professionals, and we take part in a lot of trainings, but we also like to share our knowledge with others, with volunteers, personal assistants, therapists, and other staff working with in social services. So we organize these tailor-made workshops on adventure therapy method and wilderness therapy. So we also take people to feel this method in and to experience the method. So it's not a workshop or a or we do not sit in class. So we do it on experiential learning way, you see in the picture.
Yeah, they do the job, and then my team are observing and monitoring and giving advices what to do. Almost.
Yes, and here you can see our partners that we cooperate with, and these are some foundations and organizations from Poland, but also from Spain, Czech Republic, Norway, and
yes, Spain, Czech Republic, and Norway,
and Poland. Yeah.
And Poland as well.
Yeah. Well, these are the organizations. Because as I said before, we like to share experience, and we like very much to go on study visits and learn. As Piotr mentioned at the beginning, we visit in Reykjavik was like a starting point for doing these things in our foundation. So we try to make new partnership and meet new people and share our knowledge and learn from the others to make new projects and to provide better services for our clients.
And here, basically, you can find more information about what we do. I think the Facebook page, Centrum Baza, it's the most accurate one. So there you can basically see what we do on daily basis, like what kind of workshops, trips, adventures, where we take our participants to. And there is like a plenty of photos and descriptions, but I think the descriptions are in Polish. So basically you can read the pictures.
But please follow us and give us likes.
And the YouTube link, it's like for the short movies that we were talking about before.
Well, there are no subtitles in English, or there are.
I think that there are,
right?
There are subtitles.
Okay. And there are subtitles in English. So.
Or we can also learn Polish. This is so great. Thank you guys so much for sharing about this exciting work. It's so cool. Tyler and I have been texting about how we want to do this, and Tyler said he's not going to leave Poland when we go there next time because you guys do way cooler stuff than we do here. which I agree. So I really, really appreciate you doing all this exciting work and taking the time to share this with us. We did record this, so we'll post this to share with others in the break exchange, but I'll leave the last couple minutes if there's any questions from anyone else or anything else you guys want to add. I know Yasmin posted in the chat that you guys need this in the Lake Tahoe area, so maybe a possible option for you guys to explore and partner and learn from what they're doing in Poland. Yasmin.
I haven't been there, but I think that Lake Tahoe is the right place for organizing all sorts of adventure therapy.
I don't know if I missed or not, but how do they get most of like their participants in that? Do you do direct recruiting, or is it from kind of word of mouth, or are you referred by like your government like institutions, or?
Well, how do we recruit? Well, basically, we have quite a big base of clients at our foundation, because apart from that, we also provide personal assistance services. So
and individual respite care. Yeah.
And individual respite care. So we have like around 100 clients in Wrocław, in the city where we live. But we also do like some external recruitment. So we make some promotional
leaflets.
Yeah, leaflet. Well, mostly social media, because not everyone may like these kind of activities. But we try to promote. We also do meetings with the parents to encourage them to not to be afraid. Yeah, we organize meetings at schools. We organize meetings at our organization, so people could come and talk and ask questions about how we do it. Because we understand that if we do not know the parent or the person, we need to raise trust.
Yeah, so there are also other organizations here in Wrocław that offer all types of support for persons with disabilities. They also run those independent living centers or occupational therapy centers. So when Magda and her teammates wanted to recruit people and spread the news about our program, they basically paid a visit to one or two or a few organizations that run those type of centers to talk about it.
Yeah, and they are mostly very much interested, because that's something different that they do in their daily activity. So we have like a lot of interest in these programs.
Well, yeah, for obvious reasons, most of the organizations focus on all types of indoor support.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah.
It's more predictable.
Yeah.
I'm wondering, it seems like most of the pictures were individuals with intellectual or developmental disabilities. Have you had some with people with more physical or medical disabilities on your adventures?
We have people with physical disabilities. There are few people on wheelchairs. Yeah. And
but I think there are also few like with just movement difficulties that maybe they're using wheelchairs, but they're still able to walk few meters or take part in some activities there that are requiring standing. But basically we involve them like in hiking when we find inaccessible routes, or climbing. Climbing is very like therapeutical for them, basically. Like regarding this one case that our one participant, Maya, she's using wheelchair and she can't walk basically on the flat surface, but when she climbs, she's like able to involve her like legs muscles to work, and she climbs very well. And at the beginning, she didn't even like believe that she could do it.
That's
So
so great.
this is the person who was on the photos of indoor climbing.
Also, yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
okay. Great.
Yeah, and we are also aware of the fact that many of the people are not in a good condition. So first, when we did first programs, we did it like few hours, so they got adjusted to walking for some more time. But there still are people that prefer, for example, kayaking, where there is not so much effort than climbing or hiking a mountain. So we try to adjust to individual person.
That's great. Well, thank you guys so much for taking time to be with us today. We really appreciate you guys and looking forward to seeing you in Poland in about a year.
Yeah. Coming soon, coming soon.
Yes. All right. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you,
Thank
guys.
you.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.